Welcome back to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch alongside Debbie Monterey. In a story you heard on KMOX, one Metro East County has seen a significant drop in vehicle thefts. At the same time, other communities in the region have experienced a spike.
In Madison County, Illinois, auto thefts are down 24%. Joining us to talk about that and other issues, Madison County State's Attorney Tom Haine joining us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Megan. Good to be with you.
Well, this certainly caught our attention. We've been doing stories for the last several years about car thefts and carjackings everywhere, and vehicle thefts are up statewide, but in Madison County, they have dropped. So if you had to summarize, what is Madison County doing differently?
Well, crime is complex, so we're not declaring victory. We want to continue to drive these numbers down, but we are a proactive county. We pride ourselves on having a strong law enforcement community. Citizens cooperate with the police and involve the police in investigations. And we have made extra attempts over the last couple of years, since 2020, to add more tools to our toolbox. So we've been focusing on building out our license plate reader network, and then also we've established a cross-river crime task force, which is a new innovative sort of collaborative tool with law enforcement agencies across the entire county to work together to do more proactive patrols, presence patrols, license plate reader patrols. And we've done dozens of these patrols, sometimes involving 40 or more different police officers from different agencies, all focusing on one particular area at a time. And we think that the collective action that we've been focusing on, we hope, is having an impact. Again, these crime trends are just the last couple of years, but since 2017, they were steadily increasing in Madison County, 4 years of steady increase. And at least since 2020, we've seen a steady decrease, perhaps due to some of these efforts. And so we're going to continue doing what we're doing.
When it comes to the license plate reader technology, go into a little more depth about how exactly that is being used on these patrols.
Well, license plate readers are a very good tool. We have over 120 of them in Madison County, and they involve the ability for law enforcement to very quickly know where stolen vehicles are, and then when a stolen vehicle is identified, to be able to track its movements through the county. These are not, monitoring law-abiding citizens or anyone that's not on a police investigation list. These are license plates that have been flagged by law enforcement for investigatory purposes. And when they're flagged, then they allow investigators to track movements through the county and to be better allocate resources, basically, and to use them as an investigation tool. And it's not just vehicle thefts. Frankly, every single violent crime, homicide that I can recall over the last year and a half or so, the investigation has involved license plate readers because we can identify movements throughout the community based on known vehicles. So they're an incredibly powerful tool. They're not perfect. They require really professional law enforcement, and we have fantastic law enforcement in Madison County. But they are a great tool that allow us to have a 21st century approach to this kind of crime, which involves high speed transit usually. And so we need to be able to apply these kinds of tools effectively.
Just out of curiosity, what do license plate readers do for the many, many expired tags out there and what it seems like a spate of people now not even bothering with that, just driving around with no plates at all? Does it flag those vehicles?
Well, the technology continues to get better. So we do have some abilities there, but that is a difficulty. Again, crime responds dynamically to technology. That's why we have to stay on the cutting edge. And so, criminals understand that, if they're up to no good, perhaps they should take evasive action in the form of changing their license plates. But we're changing the technology to try to get over that. So there are some tools available that allow us to have some abilities there. But that's a continued back and forth as the crime changes, the technology changes, and hopefully keeps a pace with it. And there's no silver bullet. This is one tool, and it's an effective tool, but we need to continue to apply pressure. That our mentality is constant pressure. We need to make sure that people in Madison County know that they can trust law enforcement and that law enforcement is active and proactive. We're not going to sit back and wait things to happen. We're going to go out and show our presence in their community and make sure that people have access to their local law enforcement when they need it.
We're talking with Madison County, Illinois State's Attorney Tom Haine. Looking at some other aspects of crime in your county, one thing that is on the increase that you had mentioned recently was the number of people fleeing from police. Tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing there.
Well, this is a big problem. And I think people who are being pulled over by the police feel like if they flee, they won't face consequences. And that's a big issue in Madison County. And frankly, our message is they will face consequences. We are prosecuting individuals aggressively who are fleeing from the police because it places everybody in danger. These are high-speed chases. Innocent civilians are in danger. The police officers are in danger. And frankly, the individual driving the car trying to get away is in extreme danger in those circumstances. We had a situation where an officer was killed on the McKinley Bridge due to a high-speed escape attempted back across the McKinley Bridge back into Missouri by an individual named Caleb Campbell. And he struck and killed Officer Brian Pierce on the bridge, and we charged and convicted him of first-degree murder. So these are incredibly serious situations. Now, my concern is that the charge of aggravated fleeing and eluding in Illinois is a low felony. It's a class 4 felony. And so I've been advocating to our local legislators and to the governor to consider raising that felony to a much higher felony because, it's a serious life-threatening situation, and the law should reflect that. And we have seen a steady increase in these incidents in Madison County, and the law needs to respond to that. In the meantime, though, we're charging and aggressively prosecuting these crimes, at least in Madison County, and we're trying to put the word out. Do not flee from the police. You will face additional prosecution and strict prosecution if you do, because you're placing everyone at risk, especially our police officers.
A recent report showed a record number of criminal cases prosecuted by your office. I know a lot of courts, St. Louis City and St. Louis County especially, had a big backlog because of the pandemic. What did your office have a backlog like that, and what are things looking like right now?
We did. We had a backlog, and we have great prosecutors in the Madison County State Attorney's Office. They are working hard. We have been steadily adding prosecutors to our office. We've been given additional resources by the county board, which has been much appreciated. And our message is, look, we have to have swift prosecutions. We have to conclude these cases well. We have to bring them to trial. We have to prosecute them well. We have to dispose of them quickly because no case gets better with age. The victims are suffering and they need justice. The defendants' procedural rights are under threat. And witnesses forget things. Evidence does not get better with age. So we want to bring these cases swiftly to trial because we think justice delayed is justice denied. And so that was the message since I took office in 2020. And we also had this additional COVID backlog of just cases stacking up. And so for the last 2 years running, we've set new records each year for the number of cases, felony cases resolved. 2021, we had about 4,300 felony cases resolved, 4,300 felony cases resolved. And in 2022, we had over 4,400 felony cases resolved. And so that's driving the backlog down. We're starting to bend the curve down. And we're glad about that because as new cases come in, because every day we're charging new felony cases, then we're able to apply our attention to those new felony cases and again, bring swift justice to victims. And just as a comparison, not to knock on the city of St. Louis again, they've faced so much criticism over the last 6 months for how they're prosecuting crime, or frankly, over the last 6 years. But, Madison County is a smaller county than St. Louis City. In 2022, we prosecuted over 4,400 felony cases. We resolved over 4,400 felony cases. My understanding of the numbers in St. Louis City is in that same time frame, St. Louis City only resolved 1,700 felony cases. So we are doing aggressive prosecution in Madison County, fair but aggressive prosecution, and that's the way we're going to continue to do it.
Well, that's Madison County State's Attorney Tom Haine. Thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.